people want to know kind of what salary ranges maybe we can expect in and out of academia. So when you hire someone, for example, do you expect them to negotiate with you? What are the sort of typical salary ranges that you're expecting to fill, and how does that work out?
Okay, good questions. All right, so I will preface this by saying the role that I'm in now, I help with the interviewing and hiring process, and I have some amount of say in who we hire, especially if they're going to work directly for me. At this point in my career, I don't yet have responsibility for determining salary. So I am not part of that part of the job offer negotiation. So I'll just preface by saying that. In terms of kind of salary ranges and things like that and what to expect, there's lots of information out there and you should go look at it. AIP keeps some statistics on that in terms of what kinds of jobs do people go into right out of grad school or from a postdoc, and what kinds of salaries are they getting. There's all sorts of salary surveys. KDD keeps KDD Nuggets, which is like a data mining newsletter. They do a poll once a year on salary ranges that people have. Sites like salary.com, payscale.com, some of those places are good for kind of investigating some of that in terms of your level of education and experience and the job description, what's kind of the bell curve of salaries. And then, like I said at the beginning, I was using Northwestern's career services to help me understand what a reasonable range was and what I should be negotiating towards. And then, Eric, I think you asked about typical salaries across different places, at least what I found. So the federal government publishes all of their salaries, I think like down to the dollar, for all of their pay bands for all of their jobs. So that's out there. That's public information. And generally, private industry pays better than government. So that gives you some sense. And then I think there was like another part to your question, Eric.
Well, maybe the question is, do you just take the first offer? Do you end up negotiating it? Do you get a lawyer to help you negotiate it? Or how does that process work? I mean, anything coming out of grad school sounds like a lot of money. And
it does, yeah. And this is, I remember somebody saying to me, this is probably the only opportunity in your life where you can quadruple or quintuple your salary from one job to the next.
Right.
So it's a big deal. And so for me, I negotiated, and that's partially my personality, partially I knew that there is a natural tendency, again, kind of broad brush statement, but women tend to negotiate less than men. So they tend to have starting salaries that are a little bit lower than men, partially because they don't negotiate for them. So I was aware of some of that and was trying to combat that myself. I didn't want to put myself at a disadvantage because I didn't want to negotiate or was uncomfortable doing it. So I did it because I wanted to do it. Other people I know don't, and some of it comes down to what you're okay with. I actually had somebody tell me after the fact I was one of the first people to that team to negotiate, and some of the people were very impressed by that I kind of had the guts to say, yeah, that's great, but let's talk about what what more can we do? And I think you mentioned a lawyer. I've never done that. I've never had kind of outside help other than, like I said, career services and things like that, using other resources to help me understand what the right range is. So I've never gone that route.